My dear friends, nature is healing. And no, it's not because Sage Mommy and Jet Daddy figured their stuff out. If they have or haven't, I really have no idea. Or because evil geniuses finally let their players out of contract jail, although that certainly does help. Bleak nights without warmth or sustenance are finally coming to an end. Tales will be told of these dark, desolate doldrums of the offseason, but for now, it's the dawn of a new day, and with that comes hope. VCT Kickoff is just around the corner, and it's happening around the globe. Now, we're only going to be talking about Americas today, but we're going to talk through the group format, we're going to talk through pick'ems, and then we'll see where the rest of this video takes us. But for now, let's start with the groups. If you guys missed it, there was a video that came out a couple days ago, voiced by yours truly, talking through the format, talking through the groups and teams and everything really involved with that. So it's pretty straightforward. There are 3 groups with 4 teams in 2 of the groups, and then 3 teams in one of the groups because of, 11 teams, and that doesn't divide very easily. They're going to play in a double elimination tournament. The winner moves on. Well, the winner of each group moves on. The loser has to play in a play-in to decide the 4th team. Those 4 teams that are in the playoffs will play through a single elimination tournament. The top 2 teams from each of those, the top 2 teams, qualify for Madrid. Relatively straightforward. Each group, double elimination. Winning group moves on to playoff. Second team goes over to play in. Pretty straightforward. The team that wins the whole thing has better seeding when it comes to Madrid, and then they also get some additional points when it comes to their run towards champs at the end of the year. Pretty straightforward. Here are the groups. We're going to talk about them and how spicy they are. Mainly Group B. I'm looking at you because you're giving people ulcers. And then we can talk about Group C as well. There are only 3 teams here. EG gets a bye. We'll talk about what we think about that. But this video is intended to be primarily looking at pick'ems in the groups. So let's hop into that. Up first, you have Group A. NRG, the new star-studded roster that has people all excited, and for good reason. You have Demon One and Ethan coming from championship-winning EG over to NRG now that Sam and Finesse are gone. This roster's nuts. There are a lot of people who feel like maybe they're not going to perform as well as they could because they don't have a true IGL. I think they're going to be just fine. I think Crashies and Victor were both very vocal when it came to previous iterations of NRG. They're going to have a voice. They're going to be fine. Additionally, you have Ethan, who is a major winner, who has pretty outrageous success across multiple tax shooter titles. They're going to be fine. They're going to be fine. I'm not worried about that at all. I got them over NRG, Cloud9, and MIBR. MIBR could be really exciting. They have Fraud, who just moved over from Loud as their head coach. While I trust Fraud a lot, and I believe in him and his system, unfortunately, I don't believe in the roster the same way. Plus, we've also seen some pretty dope pop-off moments from Cloud9 in the offseason, so we give Cloud9 the nod here. When it comes to the winners finals, unfortunately, I think NRG are just going to be too good. They qualify up top. On the elimination side of things, Furia is going to go winless probably. Cloud9 is going to beat MIBR twice, which is really difficult to do in Valorant, but alas, that's what I think will take place. And so with that, Group A is settled between NRG and Cloud9. We're going to hop down to Group C because this is the least spicy of the 3, or of the 2 that remain, excuse me. Crew and G2 kicking things off. Crew has gone through a pretty major facelift. And G2 are the new kids on the block. They just won Ascension. People are really excited about them. There was a whole drama with the guard and, all that nonsense. Actually, it just occurred to me, all the drama that's sitting in this group between X, the guard, EG is group. Yeah. Crew and G2. I think G2 wins. I really like G2. I think they have a lot of promise. This isn't like some new kids that are only coming off of online tournaments and now they're playing on major stages. You got to remember, a lot of the players on G2 played at Reykjavik, and yes, it wasn't a great performance, but they've had that experience. I think they're going to be fine. I think they best Crew, and honestly, I think they best EG as well. EG has kept Jogamo and they've kept Potter, which are both very important pieces to the puzzle. But it's a brand new roster. I think very highly of Derek. Yes, he had a down year last year, but I think he's going to be just fine. The team is not dead in the water as people are saying they are, but I don't think they're going to be able to beat G2. So G2 makes it out of there. EG does make it out of groups, but they do it through the lower side heading into the play-in stages after besting group. Now, Group B. This is the good one. Because as you can tell, this group is stacked. Loud are nuts. They have kept everyone with the exception of Aspas, which is a pretty big hit for anybody. Sentinels has this new roster. It seems like they finally have themselves figured out. They have a dedicated IGL. They have, it looks like they've figured out their starting five. It seems like Zelsis is going to be playing a lot more than was initially suggested. Pancada doesn't seem like he's going to be getting as much play time. So that roster looks good. Leviathan look like world enders, to be honest. They have Aspas. They have Calm. The team was supposed to be good already. And then they just like rebuilt yesterday or last year, not yesterday. Last year, they weren't as good as they could have been and as good as they should have been. They've made upgrades on every single weak spot. So I am very high on Leviathan here, and 100 Thieves, pretty good roster. Better than probably most people think. They've upgraded in IGL with Boostio. There's a lot to like there as well. So let's start off at the top. Loud versus Sentinels. Honestly, I think Sentinels gets the best of them round one. Sentinels has been playing in a lot of these tournaments in the off season, and they have their stuff figured out. They're jiving. Everything looks really good for them. I think pretty highly of Sentinels in this situation. I think they get the best of Loud. Leviathan, I think they're going to win a lot this year. I think Leviathan's going to win a whole lot this year. So I put them through over 100 Thieves. The interesting thing about Loud is that I think, I think once they've lost once, they're going to be notably better. I think it's important for them to get that out of their way, get the first match out of the way. And yeah, it's a tough draw, but they're going to figure that out. Unfortunately for 100 Thieves fans, I don't think they're going to win a series. This tournament, I got Loud getting the best of them. Leviathan beats Sentinels. Now this is this might be the match of the group stages. As I mentioned earlier, I think it's really hard to beat a team twice in Valorant, especially when you have an IGL like Sadak at the helm. Unfortunately for Sentinels fans, I think he gets the best of John QT this time around. Loud goes. And that sets the stage for play-ins, right? If you guys remember, at the beginning of the video, we were talking about the format. 3 teams, the winners of the groups, automatically qualify for the playoff stage, and then the 3 teams in second place play a round robin, and the winner is the team who takes the 4th spot. So in this instance, it's Cloud9, Loud, and Evil Geniuses. Now, I should have made this disclaimer at the beginning. This is all scientific fact. 100% impossible to be wrong, right? Never mind the fact that the rosters are entirely different. Never mind the fact that the meta has changed. Never mind any of those things. What people want is hard-hitting fact, and that's what I'm providing you guys. So you have those 3 teams that made their way to the playoff stage, and then 3 that have to play through the play-in stage. The 3 are Cloud9, Loud, and Evil Geniuses. Ultimately, I think Loud is the team that makes their way through. They're going to put together a pretty ridiculous run, and that should set the playoff stage for those top 4 teams. NRG, Leviathan, Loud, and G2. The way those 4 teams shake out depends on how the bracket plays out, because in this case, Loud could not be in the same group or in the same matchup as Leviathan, so they would have to play either NRG or G2. That's going to be a random draw, so it's kind of tough to predict how that plays out. So we'll see. We'll probably put out another video and once we get to that point. But for now, those are my top 4 teams. Again, I think the teams that make playoffs are NRG, Leviathan, Loud, and G2. The most important part about all this, again, is that the winter's over. We get to watch professional Valorant once more. We have survived, my friends. We have survived, and help is just around the corner. I love you guys. Goodbye.